Hello, my name is Hao Cheng, and this presentation is for the Spring 2020 Data 620 class taught by Professor Al Gandor at UMGC. The dataset we will be dissecting is the unemployment rate of different demographics in the United States from January 1st, 2010 to March 1st, 2020. The data will be used to create a time series analysis to predict the U.S. unemployment rate after recovering from COVID-19. Before diving into the analytics, let's define the time series analysis and provide a quick overview on the economic landscape during the start of our dataset. So, a time series is a dataset that records the value of a variable throughout a period of time. In this presentation, we will be observing the unemployment rate each month over a span of 10 years. So, in the years prior to 2010, the U.S. faced the financial crisis and the crash of the housing market, both of which spiked the unemployment rate. The unemployment rate peaked at 10% around October 2009, right before the start date of our dataset. Here you can see that our starting date for our graph is January 1st, 2010, right after the peak of the unemployment rate. We see the recovery from the financial crisis in our first time series graph of the unemployment rate of different racial groups. Every group's unemployment rate decreased, with the group with higher unemployment rates decreasing at a faster rate than the others. Our trend line predicted the unemployment rate to continue to decrease well past 2020, if not for an unprecedented global event, which is COVID-19. The spike in unemployment rate from February 1st to March 1st, 2020 is caused by the global pandemic that shut down the economy and countless jobs. We also see a large disparity in the unemployment rates of the groups, but we will not cover the racial inequalities here. Next, we observe the unemployment rate of groups with different levels of education from primary school to professional degrees. We see that the financial crisis affects people with higher education less, as people with professional degrees have the lowest unemployment rate among all demographics. Here, we see the exact same trend as well, with a steady decrease in unemployment rates for all levels of education until COVID-19 hit. Our dataset also indicates that people with only primary or high school education are impacted the most, with bigger spikes in unemployment rate during the COVID-19 hit. This is in line with research that shows that the largest job loss are in low-paying wage industries. The next time series is the unemployment of women and men. Here, we see that women had a lower unemployment rate at the start of 2010, while men had higher. But as the years continue on, we see that the unemployment rate of men is decreasing at a higher rate, that the trend line shows that the unemployment rate of men will drop lower than women. All right, so the next slide, we place all the demographics on the same time series, showing the general trend of unemployment in the U.S. Since we are not provided the overall unemployment rate of the U.S., our best way of getting the most accurate is to find the average of all demographics provided for each timestamp and plot it on a time series. So the graph down here is the time series of our average. It's quite accurate since the unemployment rate at the start at October 2009 is around 10%. And right here, January 1st, 2010 is also around 10%. With additional research, we know that the current unemployment rate as of March 2022 is 3.6%, which is back to pre-COVID levels. So to predict the unemployment rate after March 2022, we will continue along the trend line starting at February 2020, so around here, where the unemployment rate is at 3.64%, and which is extremely close to the current rate. So based on the trend line, the unemployment rate next March should be between the confidence interval of 2.2% and 1.83% unemployment. But the thing is, things won't be as great as we think, since many news sources are predicting another recession coming in the next few years. If they are accurate, unemployment will start to rise again. And next slide are the sources for this analysis. Thank you all for listening.